here from Humblebee and Me, and today we're making a fantastic recipe for summer. It's one of my most popular recipes of all time, and it's called air conditioning in a bottle. This stuff harnesses that tingly chill you get from peppermint, which comes from menthol, to create a body spray that can really cool you down on hot summer days. Loads of readers have made this spray and have written in to say that it does wonders in really hot places like Texas and Australia, kind of fry an egg on a sidewalk, melt your shoes kind of hot places. So this stuff is awesome and it works really well. It's super simple to make. If you've ever made salad dressing, you can make air conditioning in a bottle. We're basically just putting everything in the bottle and then shaking it, and then that's it. Come on, let's go get started. To start off with, we'll need 5 grams of Peppermint Essential Oil and 5 grams of Menthol Crystals. You can also use Menthol Essential Oil, but the crystals are more readily available, which is why I'm using them here. You'll also need a 4 ounce or 120 milliliter bottle that has a spray or mister top attachment. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to transfer the oil and the crystals into our bottle. So these crystals will melt at high enough temperatures, but they are also oil soluble. So we'll be melting them or dissolving them into the peppermint essential oil and into our emulsifier. I'm gonna give that a little swirl. So everything in here is still pretty solid. I can still definitely see the crystals. And so what you're going to start by looking for is where in the bottle the liquid level is. Sort of take note of that, and then we're going to grab our emulsifier. And so we're using something here called Solubilizer. It's just Polysorbate 20. I do have an option for a different emulsifier, and that's detailed in the printed version of the recipe that's on my blog. So we need to add an equal volume of the solubilizer to this. So you want to take a look at sort of where the level is and then roughly double it. You're not really at risk of adding too much of the solubilizer, but you can add too little. So err on the side of a little bit more if you're not entirely certain. And we're just going to leave this to dissolve for a little while until we just have liquid and there's no more chunks of menthol crystals. It's now been about 3 hours and our menthol crystals have dissolved into the peppermint essential oil and the Polysorbate 20. I would really recommend choosing the smaller menthol crystals from your container if you're using the crystals as opposed to the liquid version, as they dissolve much faster. And you can see I popped the lid on this container, but I did pull the little spritzy tube out, and that just makes it much easier to sort of shake everything around and encourage the crystals to dissolve. And it also keeps the peppermint essential oil from evaporating off because it is quite volatile. So now that these have dissolved and we've just got a thin, clear liquid here, we can add the rest of our ingredients, which is not very many. We can remove that lid, and we're going to need our funnel again. And we have 100 milliliters of aloe juice. So we'll pop the funnel in our container here, and in goes the aloe. We'll sort of take a look at how that's doing. So you can see here that it's a little bit cloudy, which is great. Give that a little swish and swirl, get everything incorporating, and add the rest of the aloe juice. And if you lift the funnel away from the bottle top, the liquid will go through much faster as the air can escape much more easily. Ooh, smells pepperminty. And then last but not least, we're going to need a preservative. So this here is liquid Germall Plus, but I will include a link to other kinds of preservatives that you can look at and how to figure out how much of any one kind of preservative you should be using, since it varies. that in there. And we can just add the last of our aloe juice. There's just a little bit left. Oh, that looks like that's about that. That's a full bottle. So we'll grab our cap again and we will pop our little spritzy tubey bit on. Make sure when you trim these down, these are always way too long for the bottles, you do a little diagonal cut so that this doesn't sort of just end up getting against the side or the bottom of your container, and then you won't, it won't actually spritz. Drop that in there, screw it on tight, give it a good shake to combine. And that's it, really. There we go. You just made air conditioning in a bottle. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe and check the description box below for links to everything I used in this video. See you next time!